us to state that the purported raid on Mr. Ofori-Atta's residence was staged, or at best, an imposter action in an attempt to court disfavor for the OSP and to derail the investigation. You know us very well. The OSP is never deterred by such occurrences, and the investigations will continue as by law prescribed. These occurrences and the OSP's intelligence, which will not be revealed at this time for fear of compromising the investigation, are very instructive as not to put premium on Mr. Ofori-Atta's alleged imminent peril should he travel back to the jurisdiction. In any case, the purported medical letter transmitted through his lawyers to the OSP did not state so or demonstrate so. The OSP is unconvinced that the purported medical letter transmitted by Mr. Ofori-Atta through his lawyers to the OSP represents a medical report to the effect that Mr. Ofori-Atta is incapacitated or is so sickly and invalid to the extent that he is physically unable to return to the jurisdiction without imperiling his life. No serious law enforcement agency, and certainly not the OSP, will be convinced that the purported medical letter stops it from demanding the physical appearance of Mr. Ofori-Atta before it in the described circumstances. We are of the firm conviction here that this is only a ruse employed by Mr. Ofori-Atta in aid of his intention to avoid returning to the jurisdiction and to personally answer questions in respect of the investigations. We are convinced that the real intention of Mr. Ofori-Atta is what was communicated to the OSP in the very first letter transmitted by his lawyers on 31 January 2025. That is, he has left the jurisdiction indefinitely. That was what was communicated to us at the first instance, and that is his intention. He has no intention of willingly returning to the jurisdiction. That much is clear to us. Consequently, ladies and gentlemen of the media, the OSP declares Kenneth Nanaya Ofori-Atta a wanted person. He is a fugitive from justice. The OSP will take all necessary legal steps to secure his return to the jurisdiction and attendance at the OSP. And this is to Mr. Ofori-Atta. You have two choices. You can either return to the jurisdiction voluntarily, or the OSP will enforce your return. Another case update. The OSP has also commenced investigation into suspected corruption and corruption-related offenses in respect of the operations of the Minerals Income Investment Fund, MIF, especially regarding payments made in respect of Ejapa Royalties Limited, Small-Scale Mining Incubation Program, Quarry Value Addition Program, Asante Gold Corporation, Electrochem Ghana Limited, the Lithium Asset, that is Projected Lithium Focused Exploration and Development Corporation, Gold Asset 2, that is Enchi Gold Project, and all other investments by MIF, and funds expended on the chairman of the board of directors, the operational funds of MIF, purchase of parcel of land for intended office building, and all contracts and agreements entered into by MIF, and all publications, especially international publications by MIF. We are withholding the names of those under investigation for now, by targets 2 former officials and 2 serving officials of the fund. Third, the OSP has also commenced investigation into suspected corruption and corruption-related offenses in respect of an alleged embezzlement of 1.3 billion cedis from the Unified Petroleum Pricing Fund, UPPF, at the National Petroleum Authority, NPA. The investigation primarily targets the following persons: the coordinator of the UPPF, Mr. Jacob Amwa, NPA staff Frida Tando, NPA staff Wendy Ashon Newman, and the former chief executive of NPA, Mustafa Abdul Hamid. Lastly, it will be recalled that in the last quarter of 2023, the OSP and the Controller and Accountant General's Department jointly commenced corruption risk assessment and investigation into suspected corruption and corruption-related offenses in respect of government payroll administration. It is also recalled that the assessment and investigation are especially aimed at isolating and removing the names of non-existent, ineligible, and undeserving persons from government payroll, recovering wrongful payments and unearned salaries, prosecuting persons suspected to be culpable for any offenses, and the institution and implementation of internal controls in respect of payroll processing and payment of salaries. We further recall, as you do remember, that to facilitate the rollout of the investigation and assessment throughout the country, a pilot exercise was carried out in the northern region, covering educational institutions under Ghana Education Service and the Tamale Teaching Hospital, by a joint team comprising investigators, tracers, and assessors from the OSP and selected staff of the Payroll Processing Directorate of the Controller and Accountant General's Department between December 2023 and April 2024. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, I'm glad to announce to you that after thorough investigation, the OSP is now ready to commence the prosecution of persons suspected to have engaged in such conduct. So earlier today, I directed the Director of Prosecutions at the OSP to file criminal charges at the High Court in Tamale against the following 6 persons. 1. Yakubu Tahidu, a former teacher at Balogu MA Junior High School, Yendi, in the northern region. 2. Abdullahi Abubakari Sadiq, an integrated personnel payroll database coordinator of the Ghana Education Service in Yendi, northern region. 3. Sami Suk, a schools improvement support officer for the Yendi North Circuit, northern region. Mohammed Yusuf J., one-time headmaster of the Balogu MA Junior High School, Yendi, northern region. Stafford Kolete Azude Barris, an assistant chief accounts technician at the Controller and Accountant General's Department, Accra, the Greater Accra region. And Osman Isahaku, a one-time headmaster of Balogu MA Junior High School, Yendi, northern region. The main charges are corruption of a public officer and corruption by a public officer involving the manipulation and siphoning of funds designed as fictitious salaries from the government payroll. The identified persons would soon be arraigned before the High Court in Tamale. Thank you for coming. Any questions? Yes, sir. It's always Elton. Yes, sir. Sorry.
Thank you very much, sir. So you described Ken Ofori-Atta as a trinity right away from justice. You declared him wanted, meaning you've come to the conclusion he has questions to answer regarding the investigations that you have conducted. You referenced the National Cathedral, the SML, and others. Are you able to provide us some details as to his exact role in these matters that you come to the conclusion that you have questions to answer? Secondly, declaring him wanted. The claim here is that he is on an indefinite medical leave. And I'm wondering, is there no room to allow him access to speak rather than take this route to declare him wanted?
Let me answer. Elton, we'll carry the media along when we are ready to disclose the nature of his involvement in these investigations. When we started, it was 4, but by last week, it had become 5. So we're still opening it up. The more we go into it, the more we see things. So when we are ready to state, we we either come here to address you, or we put it by way of publication on our website or directly to the media. Yes, indefinite medical review. We are not without the milk of human kindness to appreciate and reckon a person's medical condition. But when you conduct yourself in a certain way to suggest that all you are doing is just a ruse and that you have no intention of returning to the jurisdiction, that is the conclusion we have come to. You see, as I said, the first communication to us was clear, that he was away indefinitely from the jurisdiction on medical grounds. Then we pushed further. You cannot tell us that you've gone out of the jurisdiction on medical grounds on your say-so. If you're a serious law enforcement agency, would you just take a person's declaration that, oh, I am so much an invalid that I'm unable to come, you demand, Elton, you demand to know more, right? And that is exactly what we did. So we pushed. The response that came was unconvincing. That he may, at some future time, undergo possible surgical procedure. And I said something which is very crucial. There's intelligence available to us, which we do not want to reveal now because it may compromise the investigation. That tells us that, and that's what I stated, that it is just a ruse, that he can travel to the jurisdiction. It's not as if he comes to the jurisdiction, we'll promptly lock him up and throw the key away. It is a process we go through. This is a democratic institution with very well prescribed constitutional and statutory legal processes. So what do you fear coming in to answer questions? You can reschedule your appointments in such a way that you can come in and go. We will not say you should stay and die at all costs. What kind of persons will we be? So that is not the issue. The issue is your expressed intention that you've gone away definitely. What do you have to show for it? We get a purported medical letter, a very sketchy one, which tells us that you have scheduled appointments which you need to attend and that you are being reviewed, and there are some future dates you would maybe undergo some surgical procedure. For us, this is unconvincing. And as I stated in my briefing, the letter doesn't say you are so much of an invalid that you can't complain and travel to the jurisdiction. We all fall sick at some point, and we all go seek medical attention wherever. But if you are not at the point of death, if you are not bedridden, if you are not on a stretcher, this is a ruse, and we are unconvinced. As far as we are concerned, he just doesn't want to return to the jurisdiction voluntarily, and we have given him the chance so to do voluntarily, failing which we will pull him to Ghana. Yes, sir.
My name is Ibrahim Hassan. I work with Youth Council Ibrahim Hassan.
Sammy, your pen doesn't write. Go on.
Yes, so